The Tata Indian Premier League is in full swing and already the competition is fierce with the West Indies players easing themselves into the tournament. Early on Monday, Antiguan fast bowler Alzarri Joseph came out on the winning side as his team, Royal Challengers Bengaluru, earned a 4-wicket victory over Punjab Kings at the Chinnaswamy Stadium. Despite a 49-ball 77 from Virat Kohli, a middle-order collapse saw RCB making hard work of a straightforward chase of 177 runs before Dinesh Karthik's 10-ball unbeaten 28 provided the necessary heroics for the home team to claim their first points of the season. Joseph had earlier taken 1 for 43 in his 4 overs. But the most outstanding performance by a West Indian has so far come from Jamaican all-rounder Andre Russell. Russell smashed a 25-ball 64, then claimed 2 for 25 to lead the Kolkata Knight Riders to a 4-run win over Sunrisers Hyderabad on Saturday. Well, Nikhil Uttamchandani joins us via Zoom as we discuss the tournament so far, which is showing on SportsMax and SportsMax Cricket. Good afternoon, Nikhil. The IPL has just started, but we're so excited because there are so many exciting storylines.
Yeah, Maria, they are. I love the excitement you said that with. I'm sure the guys in the studio have been enjoying the IPL, and I think it's great to see West Indian performances as well. You mentioned Alzarri Joseph a couple seconds ago. I've been particularly impressed. I think he will have the biggest expectation given that he's gone for $1.8 million US. But for me, he's worth every single penny of it. And Andre Russell, I think is showing you why he's still, even at this age, with all of his experience and all his years in the game and in the sport, I think he's showing you why he's still one of the best 6 hitters in the world, but also one of the best T20 players overall. And just quickly, he said to me at the end of the England series on air live, he said, by the time the T20 World Cup comes around, I'll be looking like Superman. And I think the way he struck the ball that night, and also bowled with some good venom and pace, getting over 140 kilometers per hour, I think it's safe to say Superman is ready for the World Cup.
Yeah, Andre Russell, of course, getting 64 not out and 2 for 25. And Nikhil, you said he's looking like Superman. I'd say Muscle Russell because that's one of the things they call him, of course, in CPL and all the franchise tournaments. I think he's going to have a really good tournament because I think from this first match, from inception, you can tell he means business.
Yeah, they need him, to be honest, Maria. I think the years that they've not made the playoffs and they haven't qualified is because he's had the injury issues. What he provides for them, obviously the finishing is, any team he goes to, his finishing is the thing that they need from him the most. But what I think is quite underrated is his bowling ability. You saw the 2 wickets the other night, just the ability to bowl 1-over spells and make quite a big impact. So if he can hit the ball like this and really strike those big blows, but he also has this bowling where he can, on greener surfaces, quicker surfaces like at the Chinnaswamy, Eden Gardens was quite quick that night. I think he really gives you a lot of value being a 5th or 6th bowling option who can give you 2 to 3 overs, and even in the power play as well, every single night.
Yeah, fit Andre Russell is, of course, a force to be reckoned with. And what about Nicholas Puran? He was lighting up, of course, the stadium that morning. I remember waking up and I got a message from my brother and he was like, I think he dreamt Nicholas Puran got 50. That's to tell you how my family is obsessed with cricket. I wake up and he's like, oh my God, and I think my dream is coming true. 64 not out.
Yeah, it was a really good knock, Murray. I think for a number of reasons. When he went into bat, they were 4 down. They had lost 3 wickets for just 11 runs. But what I assess from that innings, I think, is a real coming of age from Nicholas Puran. A great awareness of conditions and ability to assess conditions. If you look at Nicholas Puran last year, where he averaged a boundary every 4 deliveries, and you watch this innings, he took 15 deliveries before we saw any of these big hits. And if you were watching both seasons, you may be confused. Who is this guy? Like, what's the difference? But for me, I think it just speaks his versatility. He knew that it was a big run chase. They needed 190 plus. He knew the importance of just staying there with Kiara, who was well set. And I think he just got in, gave himself a chance, which is sometimes a criticism of his game, of other West Indians' game. And once he got in, I think there was no stopping him. So really good start from him. He struck at 170 last year. He's just an unbelievable player, man. Honestly, an unbelievable cricketer who is just so immensely talented.
Yeah, and I know it's still very, very early in the competition, but you know there are certain players you just expect them to light up the tournament from inception. One of those players for me would be Sunil Narine and also Shimron Hetmyer. He's somebody, it doesn't matter if he doesn't perform, I expect him to perform the moment he gets to the crease. These two players have had really slow starts. Your assessment?
I think Narine did his job. To bowl for just 19 runs in 4 overs the other night in what was such a high-scoring game, I think it put a lot of pressure on Sunrisers. I think his role has now changed from being a wicket taker to someone who can just be as economical as possible, because they know that it will put pressure on the batters and sort of open up the other end for the other bowlers. So I think he was spot on. Shimron Hetmyer now, I think, finds himself in an interesting predicament. To be honest, I was quite surprised. If you look at his game recently, he's actually struggling a bit against the spin, which is one of the strong areas of his game. Got out to Ravi Bishnoi, who's a leg spinner. Think back to the England series. Adil Rashid got him a couple of times. So it's been interesting to see how he's sort of struggled. I think it's just a lack of rhythm, just not being into international cricket as much, not playing as much cricket for whatever reason. However, I think with Robman Powell there at Rajasthan this season, it makes it a real interesting competition between those two. I thought Powell would have got the nod because of the form he's been in the PSL, in the ILT20 before that, in the West Indies series against Australia. But they've gone with Hetmyer and they've shown belief in him because he's been so good for them over the years. And it's tough to judge off of one game. He had to get a move on with the game the way the position was at. They had 8 wickets in hand, so I get it. But I'm interested to see if he can overcome this. It's a real test of his mental fortitude, given that he's been dropped out of the West Indies team, given that he's been low on runs. Can he overcome this, knowing what's on the other side, a potential World Cup spot?
Yeah, Nikhil, I want to go back to Andre Russell quickly, because I want an assessment from you on whether you are surprised that Andre Russell has returned to the level that we have seen of him this year, and he continues to get even better, as we saw at the weekend in the IPL. Given the number of injury issues that he's had in recent years, and there were stages, I'm sure, where many thought that in his 30s, he's now 35 years old, that there was no way he would return to the sort of level that we have seen of him recently.
I think, Ricardo, 2 things surprise me when I look at Andre Russell in this form. One is the ability against spin. I remember a lot of teams used to bowl leg spin to him, and I see him against Mayank Markande that night. I think he took him down for 19 runs in that same over, this one. So it's just, I think the thing that impresses me the most about him is how much he's been able to evolve his game against the spin. And then the other impressive thing is the bowling. I thought with the knee injuries, the age, and just how much he sort of struggled with that knee, I didn't expect him to get to not only these speeds, but to be able to bowl this amount of overs. And we know for the West Indies, if he does play, it means that someone else is probably, a bowler is probably going to have to miss out. So he could be really crucial, his 4 overs, when that World Cup comes around. So I think on those 2 fronts, I was surprised and pleasantly surprised, might I add. But in terms of the 6 hitting, this man, I think, deserves all the plaudits. And when he's done and hangs up his boots, Ricardo, I think he's right up there for one of the greatest T20 batters and finishers we've ever seen.
Yeah, how about how his body is holding up and how he's moving around in the field?
Yeah, definitely, because I think you think back to Andre Russell from the 2016 World Cup. He was such an outstanding fielder, and it was something that the West Indies really relied upon when he was on the deep cover boundary, sometimes at long off, really relied upon to win games for them. He just picked catches out of nowhere. So I think the fact that he's diving around now, he's putting his body on the line, but he's also being able to get back up and also being able to continue and not go off the field, a huge boost.
Yeah, by the way, Nikhil, which team are you carrying in the IPL?
I don't support any team, Ricardo. I support good cricket.
Lance is supporting Mumbai Indians.
Oh, I am.
Mariah
Really?
is supporting
Lance,
Kings,
come on, Lance.
Punjab Kings.
No, Nikhil, do you believe anything Ricardo says? We haven't even said who our teams are.
Oh, you
Ricardo, who are
have
you supporting? Ricardo, who are you supporting?
He doesn't have a team.
Kolkata Knight Riders.
Oh, wow.
Why is that? Because of the Jamaican connection, or?
Because Andre Russell is playing great cricket and I support great cricket.
So what about Robman Powell? Also Jamaican, Rajasthan? No?
Haven't seen him yet.
Okay.
All right, Nikhil, talk soon. Thank you so much. We have a lot more IPL, so we'll chat with you soon. Thanks again.
Yeah,
Cheers, guys.
You know
Thanks,
what I
Alan.
found fascinating yesterday? The Mumbai Indians Gujarat Titans match. 80,000 and a lot of pressure on one of Mariah's favorite cricketers,
Which one?
Hardik Pandya.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know you like Hardik Pandya, don't you?
Yes. It's
One of her favorite cricketers.
Yeah.
I thought he was her favorite cricketer
Oh,
because the way she spoke about him last year.
Yes, yes.
I don't think there is any rival for her favorite.
Yes, but I'm not too sure if she fancies him over Karishma Ramarak.
Of course not.
Thank you very much. So that's why I said one of her favorite cricketers.
No, man,
But
what's-
you know, he was under a lot of pressure yesterday because he
Yes.
had previously played for
Yes.
Gujarat, moved over to Mumbai, and the crowd gave him hell.
And let me tell you,
They gave
im-
him hell, and it
and-
was 80,000 fans.
And imagine him giving instructions to Rohit and stuff. Like, I was listening to all of that, and to me, it was a lot of excitement.
Yes, yeah.
And Lance, those are the storylines that we live for.
Yeah, yeah,
because whoever thought he would be playing for the Mumbai Indians?
Yeah. and it's the beauty of the franchise game as well.
Yeah.
We see it in football, we see it in
Yeah.
basketball, and now you have that dynamic in cricket as well. And I just think it's wonderful.
Yeah, brilliant.
It's like
Yeah.
when Chris Gayle went to St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots and came to Sabina Park to face Shane Thomas. But we're not talking about CPL, we're talking about IPL, right, Mariah?
And let me just tell the viewers, seeing that the both of them are straying away, tomorrow we have CSK versus Gujarat Titans, and it will be live on your Home of Champions. You don't want to miss it. This is going to be a top-class match. It starts at 9 a.m. if you're in Jamaica, which means I'll be up at 9 a.m. Quick break. We'll be back.